So you think you want a homestead? Well, here's 5 things you need to consider first. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Renewed Homestead. Ben, Denise, and Frankie here. Oh, well, I'm sorry. And Loki behind us whining because we won't throw his rope. So today we want to talk about 5 things you need to consider if you are considering moving to a homestead or just the homesteading life. Before we get into that, we had a bit of a surprise today.
Yeah.
We went into town, loaded up the vehicle and ran into town, stopped by the post office and checked our P.O. box and a couple of keys in there and like, what in the world? Well, we don't know who, but we got some generous gifts from some of our viewers. I don't know if you want to show or just...
We got a corn cutter. I think they saw us cutting with a knife.
Using the knife and whittling our corn cobs.
So we've got a corn cutter. We got a bug zapper.
To feed the fish.
Yes, as we were talking about in that video.
Right, and then, I'm not sure. Oops.
That's all right, I'll get it.
Let me break the phone. And then the other thing, I'm sure you can't tell, but this is a pump. It's a solar-powered pump, or I don't know if this was intended for the pond or...
I'm sure for the pond, yeah.
Yeah, but...
Because they probably saw you using the...
Oh yeah, shooting the using the big pump to aerate the water. So it's all very exciting. Thank you, whoever.
Yes, thank you so much for your generosity, y'all. That was not necessary. We deeply appreciate it. So thank y'all so much. There were no notes in there to say who sent it, so we'd love to send you an official thank you. So if you want to let us know in the comments or email us, but we just really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. All right, so first subject is self-assessment, but first is prayer. Mm-hmm. Thank God, ask for His help, ask for His guidance. We pray every day, and we're always grateful for the gifts that we have. For our subscribers and our friends, our neighbors, we are truly blessed. So, prayer first.
Yes, pray and seek God's guidance in everything you do, because you might have one plan and God might have another plan for you. So just make sure that you're seeking God's guidance and asking Him for wisdom and discernment in all things, especially before embarking on anything as big as homesteading.
Yeah. So the first subject after the prayer is self-assessment. Mm-hmm. So why do you want to do this? And you can ask my kids. I am a big proponent of making lists, positives and negatives, and you should have seen, we called it the war board. We've got a big whiteboard, and we had notes and things we wanted to do and all that before we even left Arizona, different properties and things like that. Mm-hmm. So why do you want to do it, and
Well, is your spouse on board?
Yes.
Right, that's the big one, because if your spouse isn't on board, this is going to be a very difficult thing to do, and your spouse may not be happy. So you want to make sure that your spouse is on board. That's absolutely one of the, absolute must. Yep. So.
Because this, if one of you is working outside the home or whatever, and it's expected to come home and have dinner ready and all that, homesteading isn't always that way.
Yes, yes, and and if and you might see things like a lot of YouTube channels don't show you the ugly, right? They show you all of the good, and we do try to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, either through our videos or community posts. But it's not always, as Ben says, unicorns and rainbows. It can be difficult. So if you're looking at a YouTube video online, they're like, oh, this looks like fun. There has to be another reason behind it. Why do you want to homestead? And don't just rely on YouTube. Homesteading's a lot of work. We wouldn't trade it for the world. We are so absolutely blessed to have a homestead and to live this lifestyle. I mean, God has truly blessed us, and we wouldn't trade this for all the tea in China, as they say. But and if you remember that movie, that's from, as you say, put it in the comments.
Yeah. I'm not even sure I know that one. But
yes.
if we had all the tea in China, we could buy a bigger homestead.
But so just know that there's a lot of work that goes into it. It is the most rewarding job we've ever had. We absolutely love this lifestyle, but just to make sure that it's something that you can do.
Yeah. The 10 to 15 minute video you're watching is hours of work and labor and editing to boil it down to show you the good stuff.
Yes. But, what does it he always say about the chicken poop?
Yes. So you know, you've got to have a good reason for doing this other than just escaping the city. But yeah, as I like to say, when the chicken poop hits the fan, are you just going to wash it off and keep going, or are you going to throw in the towel?
Yes.
All right. Consideration number 2 is education.
Yes.
This subject kept expanding and stretching because so much of it boils down to education. And you know, in fact, where did we start with the education?
You know, some of that went into research, which we're going to go into next.
Right.
But really it was, you know, what are skills that we're going to need to know on a homestead? So I know, like Ben, you know, mechanic, his best friend's a mechanic. So he would go over a lot and say, okay, show me how to do this, show me how to do this. I learned, you know, how to preserve. Ben showed me, you know, how to preserve, how to do things. He showed me how to garden, actually, y'all. He was the one who got me into gardening. So
she thought she didn't like rose bushes.
Actually, no. Actually, I know you got me a rose bush. Then we got into a garden, and I actually found it. I loved it.
It's our first anniversary. I got her a rose bush.
He did. It was a beautiful, it was a double delight.
Dating anniversary.
Dating anniversary,
yes.
Not marriage. Yes, it was a double delight.
That's right.
Yes, beautiful rose that we had to leave in Arizona. But you know, we thought, okay, what are some skills that we think we're going to need to know? Like, we both knew how to cook. We were both single parents before we got married. But if you don't know how to cook, learn to cook. If you don't know how to preserve. There are a plethora of videos on YouTube showing you how to can.
Yeah, but you're not going to learn all of that from YouTube. I mean,
no.
Denise is very hands-on. It's like, show me, and then let me do it, because you're going to make mistakes, and that's fine. That's the, you know, mistakes are the best teachers.
Yeah, first attempt in learning. It's not a failure. It's the first attempt in learning.
That's right. But yeah, all kinds of YouTube videos. I mean, you know, Regular Star was one I used to like to watch a lot, and he did a lot of mechanical fixing and bringing things back to life, and I enjoyed that. And someday when we have the house done and some of the other projects done, I would like to get into doing more of that. But
yes, and you know, and you know, just think of those things that you think you're going to need on a homestead, and before you get on the homestead, just start educating yourself. Like I said, it could be just something as simple as learning how to cook, or if you've done basic cooking but you've never made bread, you know, make some bread, you know, and start learning some of those basic skills. But education's critical. Read. Like I said, read, watch videos. You know, you can watch plenty, you know, Joel Salatin's videos are on YouTube. I mean, if people going to his farm, Greg Judy has a ton of videos that you can learn from. Like I said, reading's great, but go help. Like if you're in an area where you can drive a little ways and go to a homestead or go to a farm, ask if you can help, because they will teach you. Like, there were a lot of things we didn't know about animals or livestock.
That's how we met Billy and Michelle.
Yep, exactly.
Said, can you show us how to process chickens? And
they said, come on over.
Yeah.
So, you know, so these are things, so you can learn from other farms or other homesteads as well. Education's absolutely critical, y'all.
Now, I know some of the homesteader get-togethers, they do offer some courses and things. Oh, here we go. Loki? No. They offer some courses, but like beekeeping, you are not going to learn everything you need to know in an hour or 2 hour class. So,
and a lot of those are really expensive.
And I think one of the things we didn't mention in here is be smart with your money. Because like that, if you're going to have to pay out an extra $300 for a 2 hour class at an event, shop around a little bit first. And the reason I say that is I went to the community college for my beekeeping course. Great class. I think it was 8 weeks, and I think it cost me like 40 or 60
like
bucks,
that. Yeah,
something
it
like
wasn't
that.
much at all.
Great stuff, and the support because it is something local. So
Yeah, community college is actually a good point. Community college can be a great place to learn some of these skills. We're actually going to go take a welding class at the local community college. So,
and we didn't want to do small engine repair too, but they're not offering it this time around. So.
yes. Yeah, so let's go talk about consideration number 3.
Consideration number 3, research. And there's definitely some of this overlap with the education, but so
Research is
yeah.
definitely one that can build and build and build and
Yeah.
build.
Yeah, we were on our way down to Silva last week when we were talking about this, and we went miles with the research. Like, well, that could be education. No, that could be research. So back and forth, but research. So you've decided, hey, spouse is on board. We want to do this. You know, honey, list the condo. But where are you going to go? I mean, that's where the research really comes in, and a good realtor in the area where you think you want to go is invaluable. Our realtor was amazing who found us this property, but again, make a list. What's important to you? What's most important? To us, water is most important. So yeah, you can homestead in the desert. Lots of people do it. It's going to be more difficult.
A lot more difficult.
A lot more difficult, and especially right now. They've got the drought going on, so
Yeah.
anyway, that's...
Yeah, water, y'all, number one most important thing on the homestead is water, so
And
keep that in mind. So
that's
we have
behind
water
us.
here in the mountains, but we also have ponds. But what type of property do you want, right? Do you want small acreage? Do you want, a larger plot of land? Where do you want to live? What are features in the climate, in the society, in the culture? Like, what are things that you're looking for? Do you want to be someplace where there's really friendly 2A laws, right? Is 2A really important to you? 2A was extremely important to us. Do you want to hunt? Do you want to be able to buy or sell raw milk? Because believe it or not, there are states that you cannot buy raw milk. Do you want to homeschool, right? There are some states that are really friendly to homeschooling and other states that are not friendly to homeschooling. So these are a lot of questions that you need to ask yourself. Do you hunt? And that's one of the reasons, we hunt. That's one of the reasons why 2A was important to us. We wanted an area that was supportive of many of these things. We also wanted more of a culture for us. Our belief system is extremely important to us. Our relationship with God was extremely important to us. So we wanted to move to areas that had a Christian presence. So these are things to absolutely think of. And research the states that you're looking at, because if 2A is important to you, I wouldn't move to California, right? If you don't care about that, California might be the option for you because of the climate. It's just all depends on what's important to you.
Right, but also what is necessary for you. Health-wise, do you need to be close to doctors or hospitals, or somebody in your family need a certain amount of care? So, that's something to consider. And like she was talking about properties, so what kind of a homestead do you envision? Are you thinking you're going to have 2 or 3 dairy cows and a whole bunch of livestock and all that? You're going to need more than an acre. But if you're looking for, like my grandma used to say, oh, I'd just like to have a banty chicken. If you just want a chicken or 2 and just a very small scale, raising some eggs kind of thing, you could probably do that on a half an acre, but as long as you're not in an HOA. But that's things you've got to look into.
Yeah, and a girlfriend of mine, purchased beautiful home, 10 acres, top of the mountain, great views. She's in an HOA, so they're telling her she can't have chickens. So we're not moving out to the country to move to an HOA, but there are HOAs in the country, believe it or not. And do you want to be close to the city? We didn't. We wanted to be out. We wanted to be more rural. But there are some people, like you said, that might have medical considerations. Some people still want to get delivery. We don't get delivery where we are. That's perfectly fine for us.
Well, mail delivery, but you can't call up and get Pizza Hut won't deliver.
No, nobody will deliver, which is fine. That's exactly what we wanted. We wanted to be more rural. But if smaller properties too, like if you're looking in town for a smaller homestead or just outside of town, you can raise meat rabbits or quail. So you can do the smaller.
And probably almost secondary to water, look at the crime statistics.
Yes.
We watched a recent video of the top 10 highest crime
Counties, I believe.
counties,
Yeah.
and really, some of it was actually shocking. So
Yeah, it
you know,
was.
look at the crime rates in the area where you're going, because as far as we can tell, the crime rate isn't going down anytime soon. But
Yeah, we live in a really safe area. We actually researched our sheriff before we moved here to find out, how he handles crime. But we know there are certain areas of the country where crime is going up and up and up. And even not far from us in Asheville, a friend of ours says, if you're going to work anywhere near Asheville, you have to make sure you pack everything up at night, even your large equipment, because it's getting stolen. So, so just be aware of crime. That's actually a really good point. And your realtor, can't tell you, where to buy, where not to buy.
They can't tell you don't buy here, but
yes, but you can look up crime statistics almost anywhere in the county and find out, because some counties, they might have, small crime, petty crime, which isn't great, but, because they've got such a small population, you might have 5 people that shoplift, and it's going to drive the crime rate up. So look for that. Look for the violent crime, the robberies, the break-ins. Yeah. Just be aware of crime in that area, because, you want to be safe. You want your family safe.
Yeah, I fall back to the book Strategic Relocation, and that does not have current crime rates, but it I know we've talked about it before, but it talks about nuclear strike zones and hurricane patterns and earthquakes and
rainfall and
all kinds of different variables in there, and it really is a good book. But Strategic Relocation.
I'll put a link to the book in the description box.
Yeah.
But all right.
Okay, but research, like I say, there's education, research kind of intertwined, and we could go on probably for hours talking about the research that we did and so forth. But it's a good start for you.
Absolutely.
So, go look for number 4.
Number 4.
Consideration number 4: preparing yourself. So, I had a desk job, and this is not an easy lifestyle. So that's something kind of part of education, part of research. How about yourself personally? Do you get winded walking down to the mailbox? I mean, you got to start, just preparing yourself. I mean, many aspects of that too. Just start exercising now. You're not looking to become Arnold Schwarzenegger before you move out, but again, if you're getting winded, walking to the mailbox or from the grocery store, you better start doing some walking in the evenings or the mornings, or both. Take the dog for a walk. They would love to go with you.
Yeah, and this life will get you in shape. I mean, for sure, we definitely, but it would have been easier had we been able to prepare ourselves a little bit better before we got here. Yeah. And then look at your job, right? So and this could be part of researching, but you're preparing to get onto the homestead. So on top of caring for yourself, which is going to be good whether you're on a homestead or not, just to be healthier. But you'll want to look at, what are you going to do for work? Are you able to sell your place and buy cash, and where you don't have to worry about a job? Are you going to need a job? Can you take your job with you? So start mentally preparing yourself for that as well, and make that a consideration. And that can go into research for sure, but just prepare. What are you going to do for money while you're building your homestead?
Yeah. And something that we had to really consider was how were we going to get here? I mean, I'd already got approval from my job, desk job. I could do it from anywhere. I could move wherever I wanted. So that checked off that box. But getting here itself, I mean, we had to work out, we used Pod's moving storage and pack that up. And we had to go through a lot of our stuff, got rid of stuff that we thought, well, we won't need or won't use or just don't have space for. Getting the RV, because 3 dogs and 2 cats. I mean, there's a lot of preparation just in getting to your location. So
yes,
but
just prepare yourself mentally and physically.
Right. Make those lists.
Yes. All right. So let's go talk about the final.
Number 5.
All right. Goal number 5. set realistic goals for yourself. You decided this is something you want to do, so you need to make sure that you're setting those goals. When do you want to move? What's the right time? Do you have anything stopping you? Do you need to list the house? All of these things, but make sure you're setting realistic goals and make sure you're working towards that goal. If you can, do a little something every day or at least once a week towards that goal and set a realistic timeline. Because y'all, if you say you can't, you won't. So do it. That would be our advice. If you've decided everything's good, set a realistic goal and do it.
My grandma, my dad's mom, used to say, "Can't never did anything."
Yeah.
So, but you got to be realistic. If you know you're going to have to get a job, if you can't take your job with you, and you're years away from getting your unemployment and Social Security and whatever it is, you've got to find a job. Well, you're going to have to start applying. You may have to fly out to wherever it is you're going or you want to go and interview and those kind of things. So there are some things in your timeline that are a little out of your control, but have those goals, and say that's the case. Your goal tomorrow is to get online and look at companies in the area where you want to be, see who's hiring and start applying. That's one thing you can do. If there's, even the education, watch a YouTuber that's doing what you want to do. And even if that's all you're able to do one day in preparing for this lifestyle, that's what you do.
Yeah, and it's just like that. Like if you have a home and you're in an area where home prices are doing really well and you're deciding that you're going to move to a more rural area, is it possible that you can set a goal to pay cash or almost cash for your homestead, which I would recommend if you can, guys. Don't carry the debt if you don't have to. Get out of debt if you can, just kind of an extra tip. But really just be realistic and then do it. Because it's real easy to say, I want to do this, and then 2 years, 3 years, 4 years goes by. So y'all, life is too short. It really is. Life is such a blessing. Don't be miserable. Do what you want to do. Do what you love, and do it with God. And,
Don't wait.
Don't wait. Exactly.
Yep. And in part of your research and your calculations and your notes and all that, there's expenses you have no idea come out of the woodwork, whether it be chicken feed or tick collars or
vet bills or fencing or there's any number of things. Yeah, and that's something that you can look at as far as the preparing and research phase is how much work do you want to do, right? Can you clear land? Are you able to clear land? Are you going to have to hire somebody to clear land? So these are all things just to keep in mind and to consider before y'all start homesteading.
Yep. And that's where a good realtor comes in handy because, if you want a homestead or you want a ready-made homestead, that's what they need to look for. The fences are already up and all, the chicken coop's built. All you got to, plug and play, or are you looking raw land, like she said, and you got to clear it.
You'll save money with raw land. You will.
Well, initially, yeah.
Initially, yes. Yes.
Yeah, building materials these days is outrageous too. But
yeah, and one thing I want to just mention, if you are moving to a different area, please do not expect them to conform to you. You are moving into their area. Please be respectful and conform to their area. And we've talked about this before, but people have moved here and have been and we've heard it, have been very rude, disingenuous, calling these people all kinds of names, hillbillies, rednecks, and these are some of the greatest people we've ever known in our lives. And it upsets me that you would take such great people and look so down upon them. So, if you are going to move to a place, be sure that you are going to be able to that you like the culture, that you're going to be able to integrate into the culture. Please don't expect anybody to change just because you've moved to the area and you don't like what they're doing. If you don't like what they're doing, don't move there. I'm not trying to be mean, y'all. I'm just, it's happening in a lot of different places, and, just be aware of that and know that the area you want to move to has the values that that are important to you, that you want to see in your community.
I was telling my son the other day, so the people around here are some of the the nicest, most wonderful people I have ever known in my 50+ years on this earth, and I wouldn't want them to change a bit.
No.
And that's why we're here.
We love the tradition and the belief system and the values here.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we wanted.
I mean, I never heard you faster than an electric cat. Love it.
So, all right, y'all, but those are just 5 things to consider before you start homesteading. I know that there are a ton of different things. We were trying to think of just 5 things that you might want to consider. If you've thought of something else, please put it in the comments. Like I said, we all learn from each other, but we just wanted to give you a basic rundown of things that you should think about before you start homesteading.
Yep.
All right, and then October 22nd, we still have spaces open. So if you're interested to meet Pinball Preparedness, Permapastures Farm, and ourselves, it's just to get together for us to build community. Email us at renewedhomestead@gmail.com.
It's free to attend.
It's free to attend, absolutely.
Yep. And don't forget, we do have comfrey for sale on our
Yes.
website, renewedhomestead.com.
Yep, and click on the shop link.
Yep. And as you know, make sure that you are subscribed. Our count's going up, which is awesome. More and more people are joining our community here, which is great. Yeah.
And we are so thankful for you all. Thank you so much.
We are.
We really are. We wake up every day thankful for each and every one of you.
Yeah.
And we pray for each and every one of you.
We do. We
Yeah.
absolutely do. And it's funny because we've been here just a little over 2 years, and I'll have to look, but it's been almost exactly 2 years since we released our first video right over here in the barn, and goofy as I was, but it was, really the intent was more for the families, and it's grown, and it's awesome, and we love the interaction with everybody. It's wonderful. So
Yeah.
anyway, all right. Well, I guess we better go feed the dogs and the chickens and everybody else.
Yeah, do our night chores.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll have to bring you along. Let us know if you want us to bring you along when we do our night chores.
It's gonna be a jiggly camera running around chasing guineas, but if you want, we'll do that.
Yes.
But we had our dinner already.
Yes. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. So, all right. As she said, we do appreciate you guys. You take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. God bless. And we will see you on the next video. Get the pet spayed and neutered.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.